Salam and good day. Actually, in my talks, I do not focus only on commonalities, but also on differences, because people do not fight over commonalities. Rather, they fight over differences. So it is also very important to tackle differences. But my talk today, many of you will find commonalities with what I say, because it's about something that we all agree upon, which is justice. Justice in Islam is the ultimate goal. It is the ultimate goal of Islamic Sharia. Sharia means legislation. In God's last testament, the Quran, people are commanded to act justly about 25 times. About 25 times people were commanded by God in the Quran to be just. And Prophet Muhammad mentioned that there are 7 types of people who will be safe from punishment on Judgment Day. The first of them is a just ruler. In Islam, feeling secure in one's own house is a human right. No one should be expelled out of his home because someone else from a higher race or a higher religion decided to expel him and occupy his house. In Islam, the original sin, unlike Christianity and Judaism, is not the sin of Adam, as he ate from the forbidden tree. This is not the original sin according to Islamic teachings. In Islamic teachings, the original sin, or the very first sin, was the sin of Satan, as he disobeyed God by refusing his command to bow down to Adam, who represented the human beings, the human race. In the Quran, chapter number 7, God blamed Satan, saying, "What prevented you from prostrating yourself when I commanded you?" He said, "I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. I am white and he's black. I am Israeli and he's Palestinian. I am European and he is Asian." God expelled Satan from paradise for being racist, which means that in Islam, the original sin is racism, and racists have no place in paradise because they are unjust. I will recite to you one of the statements of the Quran which clarifies the relationship between justice, peace, and warfare. In chapter number 57, sign number 25 of the Noble Quran, God says, لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط وأنزلنا الحديد فيه بأس شديد ومنافع للناس وليعلم الله من ينصره ورسله بالغيب إن الله قوي عزيز. And we certainly sent our messengers with evident proofs, and we sent down with them the scripture and the balance, so that mankind may uphold justice. And we sent down iron, in which there is intense force and benefits for humanity, and that Allah may know who supports him and his messengers, though unseen. Indeed, Allah is all-powerful, almighty. So God simply is saying in this statement of the Quran that he sent his messengers like Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, peace be upon them all, so that they may speak to people peacefully. And he sent with them his books like the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran, so that they may speak to people intellectually. He also gave them miracles to prove their genuineness. All these peaceful means are meant to achieve one goal: to uphold justice. But what happens if peaceful means fail to uphold justice? The Quran continues and says, "And we sent down iron, in which there is intense force and benefits for humanity." This means that if people fail to uphold justice through peaceful means, then they are unfortunately obliged to go to war to establish justice, because justice is the goal. not peace. Peaceful negotiations and warfare are both means to establish justice. And peaceful means should always be given priority, while warfare should always be the last resort. But justice is the goal. The Quran also acknowledges that Muslims by nature hate war. In chapter number 2, sign number 216 of the Quran, God says, كتب عليكم القتال وهو كره لكم وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. Combat has been prescribed upon you even though you dislike it, but it may be that you dislike something while it is good for you. And it may be that you like something while it is bad for you. For Allah knows and you know not. This means that God forbids people from accepting to live under apartheid regimes to avoid physical danger. And that resistance of injustices is a must. Today, we are witnessing a crisis because genocides are used to justify other genocides. It's like someone washing chocolate stains on his clothes with urine. The whole world is observing the genocide of the Palestinian people, and the justification is never again. Never again what? Never again a Holocaust for Jews. But we cannot justify one act of injustice with another act of injustice. The Palestinian plight should come to an end, and the problem should be solved justly. Yes, governments can ban the slogan, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, and governments can arrest anyone who repeats this slogan in the street, but governments cannot remove it from the hearts and minds of the Palestinians. Governments can ban slogans, but they cannot ban dreams. It is unjust to kick a family out of their 7-bedroom house, and when they react violently, you attempt to make peace with them by giving them a part of the basement. At the same time, any reasonable, realistic person cannot deny the fact that there are millions of Jews who were born during the last 70 years in this land from the river to the sea. So both peoples want the whole thing from the river to the sea. That's why, in my opinion, a two-state solution is not going to work. The only solution is, in my opinion, is to give them both the whole thing, from the river to the sea, where they can live together as equals, without apartheid, without Zionism, and without anti-Semitism. But there is one question that will spring to the mind of many of our audience today. Can they both live peacefully together after all the blood that has been spilled? The answer is yes. And anyone who reads the history of Europe will surely know that that is achievable. Thank you.